Hey everybody. So today we're just going to do a refresh on recliners, a little bit more focused on some of the benefits to your customers. We started to see a slight shift in maybe customer buying behavior, and now is a good time to um, just remind ourselves why La-Z-Boy is the brand for people to buy. So we're going to talk about manual recliners first. So this is a handy slide that points out some of our La-Z-Boy onlys, the La-Z-Boy brand specific features that we want to talk to our customers about because they're not going to see these with any of the competitors if they're out shopping other stores. So we've got that independent reclining action. So your backrest and your footrest operate completely separate from one another. And so that's going to give your customer complete control in finding their comfort position. I know that's a big selling point for people with young children. So there's been a lot of, I feel like, at least in my life, there's been a lot of new babies in the world. So that's a top of mind thing for me, kind of making sure that we point out that feature to people. You've got the hinged back and seat. So that's when you go to recline it, you'll notice that seat pushes out, gives your lower lumbar full support, and then you've got full head to toe support. And then you don't get that gap in your lower back. So if we're not pointing out that feature and explaining that correctly, we want to make sure we're really bringing that to the forefront. There's the majority of the US customer base has a back issue in some form or fashion. So making sure that we're pointing this out to them is going to be a huge part of our selling process on recliners. 3, you'll notice, is the contour cut virgin polyurethane foam. So if you look at each style that we have, each arm is shaped a little differently, each seat's shaped a little differently, and we use custom designed cut foam to make sure that we have support and comfort both blended together. If you remember a few weeks ago, we did a training on the recliner seat construction. So that does vary a little bit as far as density and which foams we use. But that's going to give you comfort and a long-term use using that fresh cut polyurethane foam. Number 4 is our 3-position footrest. So that's a big one for people. They like to be able to have multiple positions. So a lot of people are working from home still, being able to use a laptop where you've got your feet kind of part of the way up so your computer can sit more comfortably on your lap. And then that way it's customized comfort for our consumer. 5 is your locking footrest, so kind of in the same area on the chair. And that's going to eliminate that footrest from dropping. So again, it's a great safety feature. If you've got families with children or pets that may climb or jump onto the leg rest, that locking feature is going to help to make sure that the leg rest doesn't fall under the added weight of a loved one. In the back, in that little inserted picture, you'll see number 6 points at our wing nuts. Those used to be called our golden wing nuts, if you want to be able to romance that a little bit. And those are for your customizable backrest. I know we talk about this one a lot, but I really don't think that we can explain this enough. There are still people that don't realize they can customize the tension on their recliner. They have the assumption that their chair is broken. They need to get a new one because it doesn't lock in place. So it's great to be able to adjust for different family members or to be able to adjust for different life phases. If you need something that's easier to recline for surgery recovery or whatever may be happening, they can adjust the tension that's needed for that backrest. And then number 7 is our 4-sided unibody frame. So you'll see 7 called out in both graphics. You can see one on the inside on the underside of the chair and one on the outside where we've got that removed fabric image. So we use a 4-sided frame. I think we talk about it a lot, but just making sure we're reiterating that it's durability, also stability in the chair. It's not going to have as much wobble and wiggle as some of the other 3-sided frames. Some additional benefits that are not La-Z-Boy specific, but that we want to talk about that our chairs still have is the locking removable backs. We've got the cam lock on there to be able to, make sure that if little fingers are in there, it's not going to pop off. We've got the 4-sided seat frame. We talked about that for the 4-sided unibody frame, but the seat frame is 4-sided. You've got your sinuous springs in there. And that we actually show here on this thumbnail picture as well. So you can see those sinuous springs across there. And then we've got that solid steel drive that operates the handle, the comfort selector. Keep in mind that we do use solid steel. So Some manufacturers I've seen, they have a hollow drive shaft. Some of them have different materials. So we use steel. I've seen some that are more like an aluminum or a lighter weight metal that are more prone to bending under the weight of someone using it. So that small feature does really contribute to the longevity of a Lazy Boy chair. Obviously the warranty, that's a huge one. We get to celebrate that we have a lifetime warranty. We use the hardwood rocker block bases, and then we use a mortise and tenon construction for the actual rocker base, the wood finish that you see on a rocker chair. And that's pretty much on, the majority of our chairs. Some specific things to call out for the 10, 16, and 17 mechs. Your 10, you do have that ratcheting system specific to a rocker recliner. You want to make sure that you can demonstrate that and explain that you've got 48 possible positions, which will increase circulation for your customers. So huge benefits there. A lot of people are working at desks, and so being able to get more circulation when they elevate their feet at the end of the day is going to be a huge benefit for them. On your wall recliner, your 16 mech chair, that track and wheel mechanism that allows it to push out away from the wall, it's going to customize reclining comfort. You get a little bit of an extra lift on your footrest. So that's a huge benefit for your customer as well. And then on the 17, if they decide to go with a glider, we just, we only have one position there. We talk about 3 positions on everything else. Since we have so limited a selection in our gliders, we do remind everybody there's just one position there. And then you've got the solid steel swing mechanism. So more of a porch swing type feel or more front to back movement versus up and down. Those are going to be great for people with bifocals. I've seen this be really great for people that have motion sickness. So just reminding everybody the benefit of that different movement. And then you've got that 360 swivel kind of pizza pie base at the bottom to be able to, obviously allow for rotation side to side. And then we've got our power recliners. So you'll see this grid. We've got 3 different colors. I did that based on prefix. So we go through our P10, P16 options first. You've got your independent back and footrest. So limitless positions at the touch of a button. We do have a 4-button operation on a P10 and P16. So that's going to allow for independent or synchronous back and leg rest movements. You can hold both down or just do them independently. And again, ease of location, right at the touch of your fingertips. You're going to have the move from an upright to a full recline in 6 seconds. So it's a pretty quick motor to be able to adjust to hit whatever comfort position your customer most prefers. We've got spring tension leg rest safety releases to make sure if they have young children or pets in the space that it's safe with the footrest closing. We've got the 9-volt battery backup, obviously allows for people to safely get out of their chair if there's a power outage. And we've got the USB ports to conveniently charge any mobile devices, phone, tablet, iPhone, whatever it may be. Once you move to the 10U and 16U, you get all of those things and the addition of the adjustable headrest, which obviously is going to help control for neck support, gives you a more inline sight line for TV or a book. And so you get anywhere from a 0 to a 55-degree angle. So again, people that have bifocals, that's going to be a really big help for them to be able to adjust what part of their lens they're looking through. And then I think just as a general comfort for a lot of people, they're not leaning and holding their head up at a strange angle to try and get a better sight line for whatever it is they're focused on. We've got a headrest safety return. I think this is one that we maybe miss when we're talking about the 10U, 16U prefixes. So that headrest return is a safeguard against pinching. So if there's fingers in the back of the headrest, things like that, we're going to be able to have that safety feature so that you don't have to worry about that mobile part of the headrest pinching anything in there. And then the toggle control. So we have, again, easy access toggle control, a little bit different than the power buttons, obviously, since we're adding an extra motor. It defaults on the right side, but there is an option that you can order on the left, and we'll take a look at options here in a couple of minutes. And then you've got the 4-motor operation. So 2 memory settings and a home button gives your customer the benefit of being able to preset what they're doing without having to come home and constantly adjust each individual motor every day to find their most common use position. And then you do have the optional wireless remote, so that you can use and control that without having to find the buttons on the side of the toggles on the side of the chair. And then when you get into your X prefix, your 10 and 16X, you get all of those features with the addition of that adjustable lumbar. So that's going to give you an extra 0 to 3.5 inches of lumbar support. So that's a great tool for people that have obviously back issues, but it's also great if someone's trying to do matching chairs and maybe the chair's just a little bit too deep for someone. They can bring that back support out and actually kind of shrink the seat of the chair, give them the back support they would need, where they're not leaning back into a chair without that adjustable lumbar. So when we look at recliner options, this is a cut and paste from your color catalogs that you guys have. These are going to be the top section here are your manual recliner options. So you can see you've got elongated handles. We've got the arc handles, both finishes, the brushed nickel and the matte black. You can do handles on both left and right sides. The elongated handle gives you an extra 1.5 inches. We've got the temper foam that you can special order. If the chair allows, you have 3 different nail head options. On some items, if they come standard with nail head, you can order them without. Again, you always want to check your price book for the options codes for that particular unit. We've got your extra fabric that you can order by the yard, your swivel base, contrasted welt, tall bases, and the arm and headrest covers. Those are all great options. Some of them you do have to special order. Many of them you guys actually stock and can switch on an in-stock item. So that's a good way to customize a chair without the lead time of a special order unit. And then you can see at the bottom some of the power options that we'll take a look at here on the next slide. So you've got your hand one. So the first hand one, the HW, is specific to your P10 and P16. It's only going to come on those 2 chairs. And then you've got your left option toggles. You've got your wireless remotes, both left and right. And then you've got your battery pack. And I realized power bundles on there, which is specific to your motion groups, but it was grouped in on the graphic there. And then the big news of 2022 is we now have a power swivel option. It's currently available only for special order chairs, but you can do it on a P10, P1M, the 10U or X prefixes. So any of those rocker power prefixes, you'll be able to use that. It does have a stopper on it, so I'm going to run a little demo video so you guys can see how that works that one of our reps took for us when we were at market.
Oh, okay, everybody, here to talk about the new power swivel base from Lazy Boy. It's a 88-126 and an 88-127 for a taller based power wall chair like a Astor or a Randall. So the advantage of this is that before we couldn't get a swivel base on a power chair, and it's because the cords would get caught up. So what Lazy Boy did is re-engineered the swivel base, because we make them ourselves, and we put stops in the ball bearings. So the chair cannot go 360 degree around because it stops, and it stops about halfway with the stops in the ball bearings that are built in. So
now you guys can see it does have those stoppers in the swivel base, so it's not a full 360 swivel like our regular manual swivels, and it does give you the additional 1 inch in height. But again, you can order this as a special order chair with a swivel base option in power now. So we no longer have to compromise. Does the customer want a power chair or do they want a swivel? We have the solution to both. You'll have to reach out and check pricing in each location. I'm not sure what your price increase is, but that should be in your SKU generators, etc. here in the near future. And if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out. My email address is there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video.